Hello, my name is Emily Machado, and I am presenting you the effect high school sports participation has on relationship confidence and its influence on perceived college experience. This is a capstone research project presented to the faculty of Lasell College. The purpose of this study is to study the relationship between high school sport participation and relationship confidence. In addition, we will study the relationship between relationship confidence and perceived college experience. The significance of this study will help us understand the correlation between athletics in adolescence and valued life skills used beyond sport. As a coach, mentor, and youth sports advocate, my research will help schools understand why a greater level of spending on athletics is warranted. Additionally, my research could help youth mentors develop more learning leadership programs based on the structure of athletics. Let's first define the identifiable terms that will be used throughout this project. Sport participation will be measured in degree of participation and values. For example, some students may value winning in their high school, while others will just focus more on the extracurricular activities and getting their academics intact. Relationship confidence is a psychological and personal self-cognizance that enables one to effectively build and maintain a relationship with others. Additionally, it enables one to comfortably approach others on a social level. Relationships are the building blocks for all community organizing activities, relatable to the literature throughout this research paper. Next, we'll study the relationship between relationship confidence and perceived college experience. Perceived college experience is the supposed experience from a former high school athlete has through academic success, wellness, and career preparation. The reasoning for putting perceived behind college experience is because each athlete will have his or own definition of success in academics, wellness, and career preparation. For example, if a student athlete gets B's across the board and that's satisfactory to him or her, then that perceived college experience is good. On the other hand, if a student athlete has a higher academic success rate and gets A's across the board and a C or a B, then the athlete might not say that the academic experience was satisfactory for him or her. This is why we use perceived college experience instead of just college experience. Research shows that sport participation in adolescence influences academic success and social skills, among many other life lessons. There is little research that states whether or not that the relationship confidence gained from high school sports prepares athletes to have a better college experience. This research fills that gap. Study shows that youth sport participation helps with goal setting, self-motivation, courage, and confidence. Another main benefit that youth get when playing youth sports is relationship building, the types of relationships they build, and how to maintain those relationships on and off the field. We are trying to see that if that relationship confidence holds up through high school sports and if that affects perceived college experience through wellness, career preparation, and academics. I conducted my research based on groundwork theory from 3 past researchers. One theory which underlines my research study is Anderson's social cognitive model and transference, which states that past assumptions and experiences in relationships resurface in relations with new people. I use this theory based on the friendships that athletes build while playing sport and how, if the act of making friends resurface later in life. I also refer to the interpersonal social cognitive theory of self, which states relationships regulate an individual's emotions and also modulate his behavior and future reactions. Similar to the social cognitive model of transference, the interpersonal social cognitive theory of self reflects the self-confidence that one retains when making and maintaining friendships, thus creating relationship confidence. Lastly, I used Coleman's social capital theory that group cohesion increases pro-social behavior and cooperation. In this case, group cohesion refers to participation on a sports team. From the previous reference groundwork theory, I was able to form my own hypothesis and conceptual framework. Sport participation affects relationship confidence, which affects college experience. This framework helped me form my hypothesis that involvement in sport participation in high school will build a bigger relationship confidence, and therefore that relationship confidence will help students in college experience in academics, wellness, and career preparation. I was able to create this conceptual framework by reviewing past literature from other researchers. A main concept I took out of the research was, as said before, the friendships that athletes create when involving in youth athletics. As important as socialization, wellness, and well-being is in relation to sport, there is also the significance of academic success. Much research that I looked at compared athletes to non-athletes, and that athletes yielded higher GPA test scores while also showing higher levels of self-concept and higher educational aspirations. Sport participation is more or less a character builder as supported in the research. America has adopted the culture that organized sport makes participants better people, a belief system that was universally accepted by society in the early years of the 20th century. Character is defined in literature as psychological entities such as self-discipline, emotional stability, educational performance, and aggression. For my quantitative study, I used a questionnaire to measure all data. Before the questionnaire was sent out, I emailed a consent form to describe to students the purpose of my research, how it would be used, and who would be able to see it. I assured them that the answers would be anonymous. I used a 7-point scale to measure the athletes' attitudes and opinions to my 24 questions in the survey. The survey was split into 3 subcategories of sport participation, relationship confidence, and college experience, while college experience was also broken down into perceived academic success, wellness, and career preparation. I used Schutt-et-al's emotional intelligence scale to measure the level of relationship confidence in my participants, which was previously validated in research. Next, I used relationship confidence to build my own, as Dr. Kim reviewed the literature and validated those questions. For wellness, I borrowed the satisfaction with life scale from Diner et al., which is also measured on a 7-point scale. Lastly, to measure career preparation, I used Bridges' scale of measurement. All of these researchers are available in the references section of my proposal. As explained before, I sent the survey to 50 student athletes at Lasell College. However, only 20 responded back in the short frame that I gave them. Once I got their responses, I manually entered the data into an Excel sheet and copied it into the SPPS software by IBM. From there, I ran regression analysis with every single variable. For example, I first ran the analysis on sport participation questions with relationship confidence. Then, I ran the variables between relationship confidence and overall college experience, which I also broke down into relationship confidence to wellness, relationship confidence to academics, and relationship confidence to career preparation. After running regression analysis with each described variable, my study proved to be insignificant as the significance level was not greater than 0.05. There are many reasons why my data proved to be insignificant, which I will discuss in the next slide. A foremost important factor as to why my data was insignificant is because of my small sample size. I would need to increase my sample size to at least 200. Although my outcomes were statistically insignificant, by looking at the data, I can see that my hypothesis is supported in some aspects, as those who had a strong relationship confidence tended to have higher college experience. It's possible that the insignificant result was attributable to the low sample size. This, however, is just a speculation, and I would need to collect more data and re-examine it if I were to conduct additional research. If I did, I would do a more in-depth propositive sampling and target more students who have limited high school experience so I could have something to compare it to. I targeted the students at Lasell College whose athletic programs compete in the top of their conference. Therefore, pretty much all of the athletes are going to have a high level of sport participation. Additionally, I had a personal relationship with all of the students that I sent the study out to, so it's possible that they gave me their front door personality or the responses of social demand instead of being honest about their responses. If I were to do it over again, I would have somebody collect the data for me, or I could start an email account that collects the data that could be sportsparticipationresearch@gmail.com. That way the students aren't afraid to answer honestly and can give me their true responses. I realized that I don't need as much questionnaire items as I did in my research project. In order to improve the research, I would refine my questionnaire items by running a factorial analysis to see which questions I should omit. I should conduct the the factor analysis, as well as finding other professors who can review the question items, thus increasing the face and content validity of my scale items. Although all of my data seem to be insignificant, I think that this is a great pilot test to serve as another researcher who wants to do more on sport participation, relationship confidence, and college experience. I hypothesize that sport participation in high school created a better level of relationship confidence. Additionally, I expected the relationship confidence to positively affect college experience and wellness, academics, and career preparation. This was supported in some of the responses, as some students who scored higher sport participation also scored higher relationship confidence. Additionally, those students that had high relationship confidence scored high on college experience. Perhaps if another researcher were to conduct qualitative analysis to study the relationship between high school sport participation and relationship confidence, they could use my pilot test. A qualitative researcher could also use my pilot test to study how high school athletes function in relation to academics and friendships, and do the same for non-athletes. One of the researchers found deep themes and similarly each could revisit my study and compare the two using refined questionnaires from my scale. If you have additional comments, questions, or concerns, please email me at emachado@lasell.edu. I thank you for listening to my presentation.